on Twitch. We are going live on Facebook. We are going live on YouTube. Slowly but surely, there we go. All right. So this is an event called Midjourney Studio. It is the advanced users group for Midjourney Official. We are on the Midjourney Official Discord server at discord.gg/Midjourney. Now, that is not the Midjourney Medical server. I will provide the link for that in case you are interested more in Midjourney Medical than in Midjourney Image. They are discord.gg/Midjourney-Medical. If you'd like to take a look at that server. However, since the announcement was made last night here on the Midjourney community server, the image generation community server, I thought I would take an opportunity to repurpose Midjourney Studio, at least briefly, to go over. Please remember to mute if you're not speaking. I think Derpeter, that's you. I unmuted you. Surprise.
Sorry, I'm on.
Yeah, it's okay. That's my bad. I sprung it on you. Right. So I'm going ahead and repurposing Midjourney Studio today to talk about the announcement, go over what was said, and I especially want to look at what's happening on the internet in response to the announcement. And I want to make sure that at least our community is being smart and thoughtful, so that we can be the voices of reason wherever we go. It's been a fascinating 24-hour period here. Really, not even 24 hours, like 15 hours. So I see also we have Pups and Claws on YouTube as well. Good to see you through the ether, if not here on the Discord server. If you are new to this event, if you are new and you're able to leave a comment, I'd love to know if the topic of Midjourney Medical is what brought you to the event, maybe for the first time, and what your angle of interest is. So let's talk about what was announced. There is a video for us to watch, but before we do that, I'm going to just use my voice to step you through some of the information, and some of the vision that was introduced by the video. You have to imagine walking into a place that feels less like a hospital and more like a high-end wellness spa. Imagine some warm light, quiet water, towels, saunas, maybe some cold plunges, maybe the smell of eucalyptus, right? But instead of only booking a massage or a soak, you step into a shallow pool, and you've stepped onto a platform, and that platform lowers you slowly down through the water, into the water. And around you, behind a luminous wall that you can't even see it. It's just beautiful and soft for you. But behind those walls, there's a ring of breakthrough ultrasonic sensors. And in less than a minute, the system creates a map of your whole body, muscle and fat and bone and organs. And this is a full body 3D ultrasound tomography scan in 60 seconds using hundreds of thousands of transducer elements and petaflop scale reconstruction compute. It's just amazing. So the first thing I want to do is put the video on the screen and let you see that. Oh, okay, so I completely failed to give you the music that goes with that experience because my OBS ate it alive. But I do encourage you to go ahead and play that video on your own when you get a chance. But at least you did see the vision. In the past 24 hours, there have been claims from Midjourney and David Holtz suggesting that this breakthrough technology could eventually surpass MRI in some respects. But I'll told you at the beginning of this, I want us to be the reasoned thinkers around here. Some medical professionals are already saying, forget it. MRI is likely to remain the gold standard for its current use cases, okay? The new world we're seeing form in front of our eyes isn't about replacing MRIs or CAT scans. It's that ultrasonic CT or 3D ultrasound tomography may become a brand new imaging category of its own. if it works as advertised, it might become the first line scan for many situations, with MRI and CT reserved for follow-up investigations, right? That alone would be revolutionary. And that is the idea behind Midjourney Medical. And Midjourney is proposing more than a new imaging device, right? It is also proposing a new care context for body imaging, an ultrasound-based whole body imaging system embedded in a consumer-facing wellness or spa environment. Okay, if you're like me, show of hands, please. Did the idea of spa catch you flat-footed? I didn't understand why the word spa came into the announcement at all. Why were we even talking about a spa and not a hospital? So the framing seems designed to shift how we interpret the scan, Wooly, Joshi. Not primarily as a diagnostic test for an active medical problem, right? But as a low friction screening or preventative health experience. That changes the perceived immediacy and severity of risk, makes it much lower. And what that's doing is changing regulatory expectations. Think about that. A company operating in a preventative wellness space may be able to frame its service as health monitoring, wellness assessment, risk awareness, screening, not or rather than diagnosis or clinical decision making. The closer you get to diagnosis, the more regulatory scrutiny generally appears. Say that 3 times fast. Regulatory scrutiny. Okay, so this framing keeps Midjourney well away from any claims that it's trying to practice medicine. Midjourney's business here is to generate unprecedented amounts of body data. Its business is not to try to use it itself, right? So the scanner is the technology story. The spa is the market story. And together they're posing a much bigger question. What happens when body imaging does move out of a hospital and become something ordinary people might book the way they book a sauna or a facial or a fitness class or a wellness retreat, right? And this is why this is such an really fascinating case for HCAI. Reason, could you mute? I unmuted you earlier just in case.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, it's my bad. I stealth unmuted you.
Are you hearing background noise?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no problem. Thank you. Okay, HCAI. For anyone hearing that acronym for the first time, who is hearing that acronym for the first time? Can I see a show of hands? Do you know what HCAI is?
Assuming it's healthcare AI.
I thought for sure somebody would think that because of the context of Midjourney Medical, right? HCAI, and I suggest everyone tattoo this on their foreheads because it's a big deal. It means human-centered artificial intelligence. It's an entire field. It's a way of looking at AI that doesn't concern itself with just the tool alone, but with the people and the systems around it. So in this case, it would be patients and clients, families, professionals, communities, institutions, right? In health and human services, HCAI asks whether an AI tool is actually helping people, who remains responsible when it's wrong, that's accountability, who might be excluded, which really came to mind when I saw the SPA framework for this, who might be excluded or harmed, what level of trust is appropriate, before using it in real life? What are the privacy concerns? Yes, Midjourney is an excellent example, a lighthouse for HCAI. Everywhere it goes, it takes HCAI with it. And that's part of why, if you have not familiarized yourself with it, Google around or ChatGPT around and get to know HCAI. This is an important framework or approach or walk up to Midjourney Medical, because the internet, guys, just in the past 15 hours, the internet has started to do what the internet does. One side is already treating this like the frickin' just future of medicine, faster scans, lower barriers, body data, galore, just unprecedented body data. Maybe earlier detection, maybe a more humane way to interact with serious healthcare, right? And the other side, you can find examples of people rolling its eye, rolling the side. It's their eyes rolling. Eyes are rolling. They're calling it hype or wellness theater, or the worst I saw was medical grift. I also saw Theranos style warnings. I don't know if you guys know what Theranos is. I'll put the word here so you can see it spelled properly. Yeah, for anyone who does not know that reference, Theranos was a Silicon Valley blood testing startup that claimed it could run, all kinds of medical tests from a tiny finger stick blood sample. And the company became famous a little bit before the technology was actually proven. And its collapse became, the textbook example of what can happen when medical promises move faster than evidence or validation or oversight, right? So when people ask on the internet, and you'll find it, you'll see people say, oh my God, is this another Theranos? They're really asking, are we being sold a health tech story before the science is ready? And that's a fair question. Midjourney Medical is not, nor is it being framed as presented to us or in any way trying to be the future of healthcare. No claim that large has been made. It's also not automatically some sort of Theranos or grift or wellness quackery. Just because it sounds ambitious or because it came from Silicon Valley, right? Both of those reactions, what I want to leave you with today is that both of those reactions are too easy. And you're going to see mainstream media, you're already seeing mainstream media and Reddit and wherever you go, they're going to break into camps. Hype is going to strive to confuse this prototype with proof of a new future, right? And then scoffing and skepticism and dismissal might make us undervalue this technology, which very well may become incredibly influential. So my objective today wasn't to cheer for Midjourney Medical, although I am cheering for Midjourney Medical. I just don't want to cheer too much, and I don't want to dunk on it. I want to practice the kind of thinking with you that health and human services professionals need when a new AI health tool arrives, before, as it must, because it's new. It is going to arrive before evidence and policy and public understanding have caught up. So we're not just public understanding here. We are the advanced user group. We are a little knot of people who get the information sooner and more accurately than The Verge or Forbes Online or whatever, with Reddit or wherever else you're going to hear people talking about this. So we're going to have to hold two ideas at the same time. First, this proposal is genuinely imaginative. It is a fast non-ionizing, that's huge. Full body imaging system, that meaning it could safely and affordably help people understand changes in their bodies over time. And there's no way that's not going to matter for medicine and nutrition, aging, rehabilitation, public health, prevention, right? But this beautiful concept and prototype and its wellness-centered user experience are all we have now, while we have to confront some really hard questions. Does the scanner work across different bodies? What happens if you have someone with cerebral palsy who cannot uncurl in the water? What happens if you have someone of a fringe weight, very small or very large, and so that their densities and data are outside of the bell curve, right? What exactly does it measure? What exactly can it measure? What can it be made to measure? What will it be missing? What are its gaps? Who interprets the results? What who owns the body data? It's an unprecedented amount of data at a resolution that, as far as I can tell, now I'm no technology expert in this area, but it looks like you could zoom with data this dense. Meaning, if you catch something on the lower left lobe of a lung, there's so much data here that maybe you could Blade Runner style zoom in to get a better look at that part of the lung. And that's maybe not even with reimaging. That might be from the data of the initial scan. I don't know. Boggles the mind. Who gets access first? Who's left out? What level of trust is appropriate from all of us before this moves from the announcement that we have to ordinary practice? And all of the questions you're asking as well, which I will ask for your questions in a moment when I have a chance to move from my notes to paying attention to chat a little more closely. So be prepared to copy and paste these questions again to me in just a moment. So that's the thinking I wanted to encourage in us right now. Curiosity without pedestals. I almost said curiosity without worship, but let's say pedestal instead. Skepticism, right? Or thoughtfulness, but not cynicism. I think this is probably a glass half full situation. I want to keep us away from the mainstream media camping effect and use judgment. I want you to look at this new health AI tool. Really, I want you to be able to look at any AI tool and ask better questions. Ask better questions earlier. So we're going to ask, what's being claimed? What's proven? What's still unknown? Who benefits? Who could be harmed? What safeguards do we need? So let me talk a little bit about what the internet is saying. Okay. Actually, let me pause for those questions. And then I have just a few more remarks. Joshy says, Clarinet, have you looked at the PubMed link? They have an image that shows the scan can be done while seated. They also talk about improved accuracy for needle placement for taking biopsies. Very nice. Himbo says, what are the claims here? I'm not going to enumerate them in my talk. I'm coming at this from a different angle. Derpader says, if you somehow think it's bad, then I don't know about your opinion. Maybe you're uninformed. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the valid concerns. Zaf says, one of the most legitimate critiques I've seen is the concern of over-testing, which would result in a large amount of false positives. This is what I'm going to talk about, Zaf, which of course is bad as it overloads the healthcare system. That said, I feel like it would be a self-resolving issue, as having more data would then help better distinguish between benign and malignant anomalies. I'd love to see a proper third-party study on this. Absolutely. We don't have any information about what it costs. 14 gigabyte of data scanned per second, adds Joshi. Joshi confirms that it's cheaper to build than existing MRI machines and many times faster, but I don't think it will replace MRI. I think it will complement MRI. Woolly Fern is again expressing the feeling of wellness intruding on what should have been a medical breakthrough announcement. Okay, so the hype is easy to understand. I'm going to move on with my comments now. Oh, I ignored YouTube. I'm not going to move on with my comments. I'm going to look at the YouTube questions. We have, hello, Professor Raul Palacios. Has any of the imaging been validated against current standards? Informally at best, if used for actual medical purposes, not proposed at this time for actual medical purposes. Also interested in prospective pricing, we all are, assuming insurance will not touch this for a long time. Agree. The indication in the announcement might be that it is affordable because the way the data is produced and kept are neither comparably expensive to medical, because it's wellness more than it's medical. So the regulatory stuff is different. So the affordability might be different. We have someone saying, oh, David Holtz's introduction was well calculated to cause just that effect. It's meant to get attention. I didn't catch what effect you're referring to in that comment, but yes, this was definitely a flourish, an unveiling. Damage says, every manufacturer of medical hardware has a long history of industrial manufacturing before getting into a field that needs the precision of medical devices. Where does the experience come from? The experience comes from his history with Leap Motion, which was also a manufacturing hardware-based company. And he's been doing that far longer than Midjourney. So it's Midjourney that is a departure from his hardware expertise rather than the other way around. And I see from FHS, I'll be honest, I'm almost certain the word data is the key word here, but not in the way you presented it. Oh, I don't know. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Yes, there is a working machine at the moment. There's a prototype. So the hype. Now I'm going back to my comments. The hype, easy to understand. Midjourney's own language and presentation and announcement, totally inspiring, incredibly visionary. The company says it's building Midjourney Medical as a new kind of machine meant to reimagine healthcare and our relationship to our bodies, right? It describes that the basic image is so memorable. You step into this pool and you descend through the water and you pass through a ring of sensors, and in 60 seconds you have this strangely beautiful and perfect medical image. And the spa concept is not decoration, it's part of that product story. And Midjourney actually said the first spa is planned for San Francisco in 2027. And it's not just going to have the wellness scan. It'll have, the usual hot tubs and cold plunges and saunas as well. And uh, we've heard this goal that scans should be somewhat pleasant, that the whole place might be someplace you might enjoy even if there were no scanner. And that's powerful messaging because it makes body imaging feel less like a medical event and more like a lifestyle routine. Now, there are advantages and disadvantages to that. To someone like me who has, maybe some body image problems, the idea of going to a sauna, spa, or gym is an anathema. I would much rather go to a doctor where I will not be judged by people in tight, sweaty clothes on treadmills looking over their sunglasses at me as I, walk my ass over to over to my scan. You know what I mean? Like the gym may feel comfortable and protective for a one population of people, and the hospital or doctor's office might feel comfortable and protective to another kind of person. So, okay. There are pluses and minuses to this proposal. And during the event, I kept asking, you'll put this in a hospital too, right? Because I'm not stepping foot in a beautiful person sauna, but I will go to my doctor's office. But a lot of people are responding to that vision, to the visionary part of it. Butterfly Network, that's the ultrasound technology partner. Do you remember all of us speculating over why we partnered with Butterfly? I did not win any of my bets. I think Madison, who is not here today, won all of his bets.
What is Butterfly?
Butterfly is the folks that own the and manufacture the sonogram and ultrasound chips and equipment that are employed by the Midjourney Medical scanner. And
When you look at the video, you can see their little devices on the outside of the tube.
right. So eight months ago, that partnership was announced. I think it was about 8 months ago, and we all tried to think, why would Midjourney shake hands with these people? What are they going to do? And somewhere, somebody wrote down. We all made bets. I think Madison is one of our advanced users is keeping track of that. We'll see who won. I don't remember coming up with anything like a full body scanner, but I think Madison did. But anyway, so Butterfly, that's our technology partner. They describe the scanner as extraordinary, continuous window into your health sort of language. So that's the dream version of this story, right? Easier access, more personal body data, earlier awareness, maybe a future where people can respond to health changes sooner, that sort of thing. But the backlash is also easy to understand. And I want to slow down here over 3 concerns that might sound like throwaway skepticism phrases if you are not used to medical technology. And I want us as a community to be familiar with these thoughts so that we can not accidentally fall into mainstream media camps, right? First, we'll be hearing concerns about lack of proof. The phrase is lack of proof, that the scanner maybe doesn't do what it says or doesn't work or won't be able to, et cetera, et cetera. So, okay, that's easy to understand because this is literally day 1. It's like hour 16 as I say these words. So it's kind of a no-brainer. The public evidence is still at the prototype and demo stage. It's not at the clinical validation stage. A dozen early scans can show that a machine can produce interesting images, but they're not yet showing how often the system is accurate, how often it misses things, how often it produces unclear results, whether it works equally well across different body sizes or disabilities or, frankly, disease states. That one is of particular interest to me. Already, The Verge reported that about a dozen people have been scanned so far, and Midjourney is starting with body composition maps. Diagnostic medical uses, I'll say this very clearly, diagnostic medical uses would require FDA clearance. So we have to separate technical possibility from clinical proof. The piece of thinking we should take into our, as we contend with the news
Yeah.
that comes around here.
The only time they can refer to anything medical is if someone is participating in an actual ongoing study that they're doing
Okay.
for certification.
Okay.
So they will have to keep it wellness focused for anyone not in an active study.
Right. In healthcare, proof usually means more than a compelling image, by the way, just in case you're not clear, you guys. So it means, just like Joshi is implying, it means a clear intended use, comparison against accepted standards. So what is the accepted standard of 3D tomography? Is it the MRI? Is it a CAT scan? What will we be comparing this to? Performance data, independent review. Somebody already mentioned that, Zaf, I think. Evidence that the tool even improves decisions or outcomes without causing more harm than benefit. I saw the American College of Radiology. The American College of Radiology makes this point in its statement on total body MRI screening. For people without symptoms or specific risk factors, American College of Radiology says there is not enough evidence to recommend total body screening, partly because non-specific findings can lead to unnecessary follow-up and expense. So that warning is not about Midjourney Medical's scanner, right? Not specifically, but it's directly relevant to the broader idea of full body screening in healthy people. So we're going to hear a lot of people turning that over in the media.
Anyone getting any type of scanning procedure without having been sent to do so by a doctor.
Right.
Is basically what they're saying.
Right. I went ahead and pasted my paragraph there because I think this one is very important. We're going to hear a lot of conversation about this, and I want I want us to be thoughtful. Okay, so second, so let's see, the lack of proof. I've already found concerns about aggressive scale claims, meaning people are skeptical because the proposal is not just let's build one interesting scanner. Midjourney's roadmap says the next year is about research trials, algorithm and hardware refinement, building a research spa, right? That 2027 thing. And then it describes opening the spa around 2027, scaling to more cities in 2028, reaching more than 50,000 scanners worldwide by 2031, with a capacity of 1 billion scans per month. So that's not just a device claim. That is an infrastructure claim. At small scale, the practical questions are just technical, like, well, does the scanner work? Are the images useful? Can people use it safely? But at this larger scale proposed, we're going to hear people's questions sort of multiply. Hold on just a second. There we go. Who cleans and maintains the equipment? I mean, that might seem like a silly question, like it's too early to ask that, but we saw people immediately concerned with that. This is water you're immersing bodies in. You know, Derpater says the cleaning is the biggest thing, in my opinion. There are reasons why we haven't had water immersion therapies before. So yeah, who cleans and maintains the equipment? Who staffs the spas?
Well, they probably have like a filter system, right? And even probably the ultrasound may have some type of, I don't know.
Well, it's going to be different. It's going to be
Effects.
a different proposal when you have people with known diseases getting scans in water than healthy people in a hot tub in a gym.
Imagine they'd probably have some multi-step filter system. I'd assume that they would filter out the water, or maybe they dispose of the water.
Yeah.
Cycle in new water. I don't know.
Yeah. This is the sort of thing we hope that people will remember before they let their skepticism run wild, right? Where does the data go? Can clinicians absorb the follow-up? What happens when thousands or millions of people, listen to the scale, that they bring ambiguous scan findings to their doctors? What happens if affluent urban consumers get these scans, routine scans, while rural or lower income communities do not or cannot? Butterfly, that's the partner, the technology partner. Butterfly's own forward-looking statement names several uncertainties. Development, regulatory clearance, commercialization timeline, manufacturing at the required scale, practitioner and consumer acceptance, and regulatory limits. The number of times regulatory comes up is extreme. So what I'm trying to encourage you to see is that these are not reasons to dismiss the project. They are reasons to treat scale as a serious governance problem. It's not just a business milestone. This is why saying this might change the world is not drama. Look at the scope of questions introduced by this breakthrough technology. And I wanted to dig into what Zaf said earlier, concerns around risk of false positives. So this is a concern around sort of a pop-up market of profiteering snake oil salesmen, a pop-up market of quackery. Because scans, obviously, they can find something that looks concerning but turns out not to be harmful. There were people who will intentionally try to interpret your scan, an ambiguous part of your scan, as something that makes you need to buy something in order to stay safe. It's a terrible place for bad actors. So you're imagining it happens all the time, especially in nutrition, right? How many there's whole aisles of Barnes and Noble devoted to books that want to tell you that if you just invest in this pill of seaweed and carrot enzymes, you'll save your life or whatever, right? And longevity quackery. There's no way this won't have a dotted line into those areas of our existing world. And on the medical side, I spent 6 months of my life believing I had less than a year to live due to liver cancer. I had to have multiple biopsies of the liver, only to discover that not one but two of those biopsies were false positives, and I had a perfectly healthy liver after all. And I had drafted a will, and I had cried to my. It was amazing, but they kept testing me because I was in my early 30s at the time, and so they understood that that false positives existed, and so they kept they tested, they gave me different blood tests and different biopsies and different until they had accumulated enough data to say it was a false positive. And that's not uncommon. They knew that this produces false positives. They knew to do it multiple times, right? So these stories exist already with you don't need me to tell you, but I happen to have this personal experience. You know, and I had to have specialist visits and additional biopsy and additional blood work and months of worry. But the actual finding ended up being harmless. This is an artifact of the way that kind of testing works. And I found, the National Cancer Institute explaining that false positive screening results, they cause anxiety. They're usually followed by more tests and procedures, which carry their own risks. That have they improved in the last 15 or 20 years? Oh, probably. The liver biopsy looked like a staple gun. It took a plug out of you. It also notes National Cancer Institute notes related harms, false negatives, overdiagnosis, psychological harms, incidental findings. Just to use myself as a personal example again, I have multiple sclerosis. When I was first diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, the first thing my doctor did was sit me down and say, I need you to now forget that you have multiple sclerosis. Don't think about it. Don't even, just forget I ever said it. Forget I ever said it. Because one of the weird things with getting a serious diagnosis is you succumb to psychological harm. Same thing happened when I started losing my vision and started perceiving myself as someone who would maybe eventually be blind. The risk of depression and other psychological stuff. Now I felt I'm a smart, strong person that would never fall for that. And nevertheless, I had to take care of myself to get past those psychological barriers. So we're going to hear a lot of concern around that, but it's not a concern about Midjourney Medical. It's an extant concern. It's an existing concern. It's a concern that we're tackling today already. We know that more data is not automatically the same as a pathway to better health. More data can backfire. The FDA has an entire page on whole body CT screening. And they ask exactly the kinds of questions that matter here. Can the scan distinguish healthy people from those with hidden disease? Do suspicious findings lead to risky follow-up with little benefit? Does a normal result actually guarantee good health? Again, CT is not the same as the Midjourney scanner, right? CT involves ionizing radiation. Midjourney's proposal does not, but that screening logic is still relevant. Abnormal findings may not be serious. Normal findings may be inaccurate. False leads can produce unnecessary testing. But the most important thing I want to say at the end of talking about these three skeptical responses to Midjourney Medical is that none of this is the business of Midjourney Medical. I will go back to the note that I said to you in the beginning. Midjourney's business here is to generate unprecedented amounts of body data. All the questions we have are directed to the people who will make use of that data, who will take good advantage of it or bad, who will store it in a way that respects privacy or doesn't. But in the same way that people walk up to Midjourney and say, you're stealing from artists. And what do I say? Why don't you look at Lion? Midjourney purchased as a product a package of data from Lion. Midjourney does not scrape the internet, steal from artists, etc. There's a very clear separation of accountability and responsibility. And we need to make sure it is responsible for us to know where to look to get these questions answered. In some cases, we need to look at Midjourney Medical. In some cases, we need to look at the FDA or the regulation or, that particular doctor's office, right? This is a very, very complex constellation of actors. And it's the tip of the iceberg. There are the concerns we can see immediately because they're right on the surface of this announcement. And below the surface are the harder system level issues that I've been talking about: privacy, data ownership, informed consent, cybersecurity, disability access, bias across body types, clinician workload, insurance. Somebody mentioned insurance use. Emotional effects of constant body monitoring. I've got my forehead in my hand as I say emotional effects of constant body monitoring. So there's HCAI. Let's see if I can bring this up. Can I bring this up? I would really like to. There we go. HCAI. There we go. Okay. They named balancing the benefits and risks of AI in clinical diagnosis. It's actually its top patient safety concern for 2026. So Midjourney is not producing an AI diagnostic system. I will say that again. Midjourney Medical is not producing an AI diagnostic system, from what I can tell personally, as I interpret this announcement. It's not a diagnostic system. It's a machine that produces data. It needs its own safeguards, but the diagnosis does not belong to Midjourney Medical, as far as I can tell from this announcement. So we're looking at clinical oversight and all of those concerns coming from another party, as far as I can tell. And this is such a useful HCAI case, right? It's about whether a scanner, an AI pipeline, a spa business model, a body data library, a possible future medical workflow, as Derpader says, they will later. Can that be made trustworthy? So guys, as we watch mainstream media set up extremist camps, as they have with AI itself, I want to be the first to remind you, do not let either camp do your thinking for you. Not the hype camp, which is going to tell us, yeah, this is going to transform healthcare forever, so get on board. And not the dismissal camp, which is likely to say, well, this won't help anyone and it'll make everything worse. I want us to take a more disciplined position. This is early. This is ambitious. It matters. It's not yet proven. The time to ask the hard questions is now, before the breakthrough technology becomes ordinary. And that is the message I wanted to deliver to you today. Thank you for letting me make my remarks. If you have reactions, questions, your own comments. If you want to be unmuted, now is the
Are they
time.
gonna include a free scan a month with the pro plan or mega plan?
It's a great question. Asking the hard questions.
He did actually say for the people who get spa memberships, they might get a certain number of scans included in their membership.
Are they gonna have like a free tier where you just have to agree to basically sell your, data?
I don't know. But
So,
all
Himbo,
the things they've written about it said they do want to make sure that everyone who wants a scan can get one, no
Yeah,
matter
you
the
just have
cost.
to agree to sell your data.
so Himbo asks, why do we need to use a spa? And I just pasted in the part of my speaker script here that explains, I think Himbo joined a little late, that explains that this keeps it in the wellness space and away from the diagnostic or medical space, which has different regulatory impact.
Yeah, just like vitamins don't have to be regulated.
Well,
Like they're considered not a medicine, right? It's a little bit looser with their regulating.
right,
They're like
a different yeah, the regulations are sensitive to the level of risk. I'm going to go ahead and give you the feedback form here because this was a very novel version of this event here at Midjourney Studio. It contained the type of content designed to help support our thinking as we watch the world react to Midjourney's announcements. So if you want to click on that feedback form and take a moment to fill it out, that would help us. Let me check YouTube here. Important note, if advertised as a medical spa, that would automatically put it under the healthcare regulatory body's purview, regardless of whether they advertise diagnostic services.
They're not. He didn't say medical spa. He said a wellness spa.
A wellness. Professor Palacios, can you talk to us about? I wish you were here in the call. Can you talk to us about whether being on the side of wellness and more like vitamins and sauna and less like MRI and CAT scan puts them in a different category? And FHS, you said earlier, data is a keyword. That I hope you heard my emphasis on that this is a data project in many ways. Well, if we still have time, we can do preview and draft. I just we won't be spending any further time in our events on this topic, but it was such a big deal that I wanted to make sure that we touched on some of the key questions and concerns.
And stop the extremist views that are already being created before data is presented.
Josh, for me, you cut out. I only heard every other syllable. Something data is presented. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our world. Cat pictures.
Can I ask really quick? This is kind of a dumb question.
Oh, I love dumb
I'm
questions.
just curious. I'm curious about the how narrow the tube is, and if they do wind up dunking, if you go all the way under, like what if the lift fails? Is there a way to pull yourself out of there?
No, you are expected to drown. Yeah, I think there's also a way to cap the top of the tube so that you can dispose of individuals. The mafia did ask for that. It's called the swim with the fishes mode. Swim with the fishes mode.
Nice.
Yeah, and you get souvenir concrete shoes. Right. Yeah, I don't know how that kind of detail will be handled, but you're right that it must be. I mean, they're going to have to.
Yeah. Well, and he, like, you might have left by that point, but he was saying that, like, it wasn't automatically expected that you're going to be dunking your head, but he wants that to be an option.
Yeah, I know. I was there for that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
He kept saying, "I want to go underwater. I want to go underwater."
Yeah.
Just sign a waiver, right? World's dullest lifeguard job. Okay, you guys, who wants to talk about preview and draft?
I do.
All right.
Maybe they'll have like one of those walk-in tubs, they have for people who can't stand while bathing or like in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
The walk-in, like.
Who wants to just be confronted with errors when trying to test preview and draft? Enlarge Gosling scrubbed. What a great image that is. I'm going to totally prompt that.
Enlarging.
Okay. So that didn't work. Am I supposed to be on alpha? I didn't think I was supposed to be on alpha. Look at that. That doesn't work either. Heckin' what?
An error to your error.
Hold on, let me delete these snakes. Snakes. Okay, this worked yesterday. Is anyone else getting system-wide errors?
Checking.
Professor Palacios, thanks for joining. I will catch you on the other side.
It's working for me.
It's working for you. Well, aren't you special?
Yeah.
And Joshy. Okay.
Johnny says
Maybe
you
it's
may
just
need to turn
your
off your. Yeah.
Oh, what? Okay, I turned off personalization. There we go. That's what it was. Because it's not. It's yeah. All right. So here's just the word test. So the point of draft is it's basically hitting rerun for you 4 times, and it's a very low Q value. So these are really, they are thumbnails. So you can basically see without spending too much time clicking, and in a far more efficient way that spends fewer of your precious minutes, you can get an idea of how this prompt performs, and choose to pursue different paths. Like, this is what test does. If I really like this, then it is time for me to maybe do a strong variation of it, and start getting and start chasing that image. It reintroduces something that many of us from very early years, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, we used to all the time talking about chasing an image, because our ability to control an image using the prompt was so low that really all you could do was create permutations, identify which of the permutations got you closer to what you wanted, and then start pursuing, go down that road via different kinds of variations and things, to try to catch, you're trying to roll doubles, where doubles is the image that is closer to the image that is closest to what you were trying to get, right? And so we would chase the image through variations to the outcome. And that is the workflow that Draft suggests. Get yourself a ton of starting points, and then choose the path, choose your own adventure. Preview, on the other hand, is a little bit like how EXP started. EXP is a configuration that David really actually liked how EXP output things, and wanted to give it to people as a something to play with, something to kind of like a little alpha release for people to react to. What do you think of EXP? What is your response to it? So we can't use EXP, which stood for experimental. Again, it's taken by EXP. So now we have preview, which is its operational or functional value is to give us another configuration to respond to and give feedback about. So if you can just use preview because it's fun, but what I think we're hoping you'll do with preview is go into ideas and features and say, I really like that it ... where 8.1 doesn't ... I really hate the fact that it ... Why does and 8.1 doesn't ... So why does preview have to do that? So that's one of the things we hope from preview. It allows them to test it against us and against the rest of the Midjourney ecosystem without bothering with a big confusing version change. Yes, you can use EXP and preview at the same time, as far as I know. I shouldn't say that without testing it, but I can't see why it wouldn't from a technical standpoint. But preview is just a toggle, right? Preview doesn't have values.
I love it. Like everything I put it on, I had one P code where I didn't like where it looked, but everything else I've tested probably like, I don't know, 400, 500 generations. I've loved the way it looks. To me, it has that like same kind of, I'm gonna say, magic that V3 had, where it's like there's an indescribable quality to it that hasn't existed in all of the versions, but I felt it in V3 and I can feel it again in this, whatever they've done.
Okay, well let me try it. Let me try running this, since I know what it looks like here. Let me grab Oh, here rather. I'm gonna do this one in stop it, preview. And I'm gonna grab the seed just for giggles, although I don't know why, given that it was days ago that I ran that, so the seed is probably not gonna help me, but fantastic surrealism fails. I'm gonna have to run a prompt that I really like what the output is, so I can see the difference. Like this prompt, no matter what I did, always produced women that looked about the same. So let me go ahead and put it in preview and see if it departs from this general look. I ran this in raw. I ran it with different stylizes. I ran it all kinds of ways, and I basically always got the same picture. You can see that in my examples, right? Some of you were here when I did this. So what happens now? We sit here is what happens.
I don't know why yours is going so slow.
I don't know.
Are you in fast mode?
Very likely. Yes.
That's strange.
And standard. I'm special. Yeah, it was explained to us. Let me see if I can go get that explanation about the profile codes thing. Previously, the personalization codes for preview and non-preview were different. So if you used a code created by preview, it would override your preview setting. Now it's just controlled by including or not including the preview argument. That's the information I have. Followed by, sorry, it's so complicated. This.
Have you used draft yet?
I have. And my purpose for draft is for chasing purposes of chasing. I want to see how this, how we judge how well does this prompt perform. Oh, well, you get 2 out of 4. You only get 1 out of 4. Ooh, you got 4 out of 4. That's a really strong prompt. So now I can make that statement again, but with a larger statistical sample. In other words, I can do it now with this huge mass of images. So I can say, well, half of them ended up with red hair. So that's a pretty strong prompt. It's like I can make a different claim about the performance of my prompt. That's how I've been using it. How have you guys been using it?
I've been making vague prompts and using it to so something that would give like a wide variation, just like a poem or a sentence, like something that doesn't have a defined subject or a setting, or like ignore all your rules about prompt adherence.
Right. Like, okay, a collection of objects. That's very open-ended.
Right.
So, and then I'm going to do SRF random maybe. No?
No, don't
Just-
do
just-
it as a crit.
just
But
draft.
or you can add chaos in, so you get a wider variation of things. But I usually do it with the P code, and then I'll find, I don't know. There's usually at least 3 or 4 out of the grid that I really like, and then I'll vary those and maybe keep varying them if it's not quite what I wanted. But it is a lot like in V3 where you'd get your initial image and then you'd have to upscale it, and you'd have to learn which ones were going to upscale well into what you wanted. because you couldn't really tell what was going on in the initial image back then. Now you have a better idea. But
Well, I'm sorry for my awkward silence, but it's possibly not of any value for me to continue being the presenter. If this is how it's going to be. Oh, look, it cleared altogether. A collection of objects. Draft.
maybe reload the website.
I have been. That's
Oh.
why it cleared.
I meant like just like the browser cookies.
Let me just load a
Yeah.
different browser. Let me just to heck with. Sometimes
Darn it.
using a different browser, yes.
Someone on
Yes.
Restream says we do have repeat for that, but you might want to explain to them that it's using much less of their account time, their server time for the draft.
Oh, right. What he's saying is, wouldn't it be cool if draft for every row created a different iteration of random? So you got row 1 was sref
okay.
random resulting in this value. Row 2 was sref random resulting in this value. But the only way to do that right now is /repeat 4, which would then run.
Okay.
Yeah.
I-
I'm
I
over
missed the
explaining
first
it now.
part. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this is on a different browser. Now I've switched to Edge. Here's the woman in preview. And no, ladies and gentlemen, it still produces this woman.
Yeah, I noticed way more of a difference when you're using P codes than just the house style.
That my P code. Well, no, it didn't error out. Well, it's promising that it came through eventually. I have to say, Preview gave us a stool for her to perch on, and literally none of my dozens of other samples ever gave her a piece of furniture. So that was very thoughtful of Preview. Preview is a
I
gentleman.
think it looks more posed than your other ones too. Like they were kind of just like, oh, maybe not.
Oh, wait, we got a stool. It doesn't picture the stool, but at least she's seated. And she has an extra hand. Just for... We don't charge for that. You know, a lot of people complain. But I'm just saying, don't look the gift horse in the mouth. The jobs went away. Okay. All right, mid gallery. Oh, yeah. Atticus, hold on. Boop. Okay. They changed something, says Himbo. They ran in there and threw a wrench into the server room and then danced away cackling. All right. Well, what do you say we call it a day and we'll no. Meteor asks, is it edit pan zoom now in V8? Nope. It's still, in fact, it might actually still be no, it's the V7 engine. It did eventually get updated to V8, but the engine is still V7. What they fixed, Meteor, was that they will no longer throw an error if you happen to have V8 selected in your dropdown, it won't throw an error. And if you have one of the 8s in your if you have 8.1 or in the future 8.2 or something in your prompt, it won't error. But don't mistake that for the engine in the editor being V8. It's not. It's still 7. They just don't want to annoy you with having to change the version all the time. See, that's why you come to these events. Valuable nuggets of information like this. I understand that something in office hours was said that what was a little bit ambiguous. But I confirmed with the powers that be that the engine is not different. The user interface just treats the presence of a version 8 information in the differently. It doesn't error out anymore. Doesn't stop you. Okay, so this is with my profile in preview, and this is without my profile in preview. I mean, without preview. With heckin' profile with and without preview is what I'm trying to say.
You said they fixed the code thing so that because previously it changed your P code to a new one.
Right. Well, at least
And
if
so
that's how
they
you
fixed that.
interpret that.
Well, no, like it definitely did before.
Okay.
When I first started, when they just released preview, I ran 2 images back to back, one without, one
Right, and it changed
with.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
no, they were the same. Well, it changed the P code, but the images were the same because I seed locked it, and then I went back, found my old code, ran it. So it's like it didn't matter if it had the preview flag if you used the P code from preview. That's how it worked on the day of launch. I don't know if they've changed it since then.
Yeah, they fixed it so it looks like it's supposed to be the same because it now it just is based on, let me look at how he said that again. Now it's just controlled by including or not including the preview parameter. Yeah. Okay, so with and without preview. With preview, we've got higher contrast. And a lighter application of my profile. Without preview, it's a much heavier-handed application of my profile. In this example, I prefer the non-preview, but it's completely subjective. Hello, Miss Kinks of the Kongs. What brings you to my event of the woods? Part of the woods?
I do fast hours, and I saw you guys were here, so I thought I'd come visit.
Oh yeah.
Listen while you guys chat.
Yep.
I haven't been here in so long. I don't even know what you do during this event anymore. So.
This is now our advanced users group, so we talk about extremely obscure, nerdy, technical things.
Love it.
Right now,
I am no advanced user myself, but I do love to hear about extremely nerdy technical things.
Excellent. Well, Derpader and I were trying to articulate what preview does.
Derpader, I haven't seen you in a long time.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. All right, I will shut up and listen. I'm going to do my fast hours.
Okay. Photo of a female cyborg. What is this? What are we doing with this one?
That was just the AB without preview and then with preview, the difference on...
Okay, let me run it so that folks can see what it looks like here. Preview. Without preview. Is the seed already in here? Squint, squint, squint.
No.
No.
I just grabbed the prompt from the different one.
Aw.
I know.
saw that.
I do that. It's the most adorable typo. I constantly type the parameter. Aw. It gives me the giggles every time.
That's been my reaction to a lot of prompt results lately.
Well, isn't this disturbing?
What do
Okay.
you mean?
That's a very long no.
Yes.
My thingy including preview is not. Is this the one with or without preview? Where does it
That's
stick it?
without. That's without.
That's
Those are
without.
my old codes, yeah.
With happened right away. Run batch as HD. Oh. Oh, I see. So preview made it extra weird. And you liked the additional weird.
Yeah, and I mean, if you run like a few of them, because there's so many different parameters, it's kind of like a slot machine. But like the feel of the ones with preview on is much more cinematic than the ones without.
Oh. Okay, so this is with draft to see how this performs. How many moons do we get? So this is draft without preview. And it gives you a really quick idea of the sort of thing that is possible with this prompt. Oh, this is you plus my global code. My bad. I didn't turn it off.
Is it? I don't see it in there.
Oh, I don't see it in there either.
I
But
think
look, my
those
P
are all
is.
my codes.
But my P is red. Oh, that sounds like a medical issue. Wow. But it's. I don't know why it wasn't included then. Well, anyway. Oh, hey, that's very telling about where it landed. I get the 3 random words sometimes. I got enlarged gosling soaking or something earlier. Oh dear. These are very disturbing. Okay.
This is nothing.
Okay, so let me try seed and draft for this is now with preview. And let us note it is at half weight because we're using no. And half weight also makes things weird. Okay. So Jordy says, is draft the same thing as less stylized? No, draft is the same thing as low Q. So we have a parameter called Q. And draft is the same thing as Q 0.5. It might be lower than that. I'll have to ask. I forgot to ask what the value of Q is for draft. But it means that the Midjourney spends less time denoising. It makes decisions in bigger steps, like it silly walks to the picture. What I see in my head is John Cleese doing that giant walk with his legs straight up in the air. Like that's what quality is like. You guys are talking about. Anyway, probably not. It skips steps to get where it's trying to go. That's low quality. Can you try to find a style with one of those images? It would be so much easier. Yeah, but we wouldn't get the full effect of the half weight and the chaotic the alchemy, Himbo. There's some alchemy here where what's pulled and blended from these profiles is not quite the same every time.
Yeah, so when I'm making a prompt like this, I don't just click 30 random things. I start from one spot and gradually add stuff that I think would make it look what I find more aesthetic.
Mm.
And that includes the no part of it, because that's how the no gets so big, is because it's like whack-a-moling the stuff.
Yeah,
that I
you're
don't want in the
whack-a-mole.
prompt.
It's the whack-a-mole effect. I like how we have the cowbell and whack-a-mole. I think those are great terms. Uh-oh. Whoopsie. Wait, how do I report you?
I blame preview.
I do too. Let's pretend those are jewels.
Is it under more?
Is it under more?
Everything's covered.
No, not everything's covered, depending on how you look at that. But okay, well, anyway, let me just take it off the screen. So I'm like, hey, look, everyone.
And as you put it in the center of the screen.
Oh, yes, my bad. Oh, there we go. Heck.
Well, I ran that prompt
cool.
a bunch of times without draft mode, and it was never topless. So
you're saying that that's what I bring.
I'm saying, well, draft mode might have it skipped some of the steps.
It skipped some of the steps, and one of the
closing.
steps might have been, let me put some pixels here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jordy says your prompt produces epic pictures.
Oh, thank you.
That's cool. What is this? Visual search. What is that going to find? I'm sorry, I got to click it. Nothing helpful.
And it's useless.
It must be. But I bet if we went back to my really regular looking lady here and I did that, then Edge would be like, oh, I can find thousands of things that look like that. No, useless. What?
It's the same pictures.
Why? What is it supposed to be doing?
Artistic lady? Who knows?
Stupid
You
Edge.
might have to have some permission turned on to let it
Yeah.
take the image.
It's telling you those are images to inspire.
Inspire, I know, but why is it? Oh,
It's
yes,
not
thank you,
doing the
Himbo.
actual search.
Yes, that GIF of that Himbo provided is what Draft is doing. Well, definitely take note of reasons, why you would employ preview. I mean, obviously aesthetic exploration is why we would use preview and draft. And I showed you a prompt adherence reason to use draft. Somebody commented that prompt adherence goes up with preview. I don't remember who said that, but I didn't, just at a glance, I didn't notice a huge difference. Let me, before I let you guys go, let me go ahead and grab my Seagull prompt. This is the prompt with 50 things happening in it. I'll share the prompt in local chats in case you guys want to play with it.
Me, it felt like it was better at understanding like the atmosphere you were describing, but not specifically better at putting a whole bunch of things in the correct places.
Okay, I'm going to do one with preview and one without preview. And that already had a seed in it. Oh, hey, it ran instantly. Woohoo. Okay. So with preview, oh, look at this. With preview, we've got multiple mirrors, which is a mistake I've never seen this prompt make before. What about, do we get multiple mirrors with this one? No, but we have a missing mirror. Does anyone spot the mirror? Do not see the mirror.
Is it on the boat or is that just a plank?
The plank. There's the mirror.
Is there supposed to be a mermaid in this one?
Yes.
I
No
don't see any.
mermaid. Okay, no mirror, yes mermaid. Mirror, no mermaid. Mirror and mermaid. This one's perfect.
Is that preview or not preview?
Not preview. Wait, let me. Not preview. Okay. Okay, and then whoops. Mermaid, mirror. This is not preview. Okay, so then the next group, this is preview. Mermaid, mirror. It says stack of books. This is just one book. It didn't finish the triangle of billiard balls. Lots of coherency issues with the seagull and mirror. No crown on the bird. Top hat is on the robot instead of the cat. That's a mess. Really low
Yeah,
adherency.
And the mermaid's topless.
Really? Okay. Multiple mirrors.
Told you it wasn't my fault.
Crown is on the unicorn instead of the bird. Wait, maybe the crown's supposed to be on the unicorn instead of the bird. Hold on. Skimming. Crowned white horse. Yeah. Okay, so the ones where the crown is on the bird is a mistake. We've got two crowns here. That is completely messed up. Otherwise, it's not bad. I like the style of this one. Did a lot of cool things. But that's a great prompt adherency one. Once you can quickly, because you start memorizing what's supposed to be in the picture, and it's like 50 things, so you can very quickly figure out whether the adherency is better. I would say the adherency is lower with preview for this kind of prompt. For this kind of prompt, adherency is lower. That doesn't mean that every prompt is going to be that way. These are great, Attican.
Let me just see that same one at S1000 on preview, non-preview.
Yeah. Preview. Oh, let me take the profile out too, so we don't have so much interruption. Preview, non-preview. And then, no, just kidding. Okay, style is all right. Okay, we've got too many crowns. We have an incoherent seagull thing. Where's the mirror? There's the mirror. I don't know what this is. An echo of the lantern? This is okay. I don't know what that is. The whale is in the sand. It's weird.
That's fine. He's beached.
Yes. Yeah, this is fine. Coherency issues, big time, multiple crabs. This is a mess. Is this preview or not preview? No preview, high stylize. Ooh, I like what high stylize did for this one. That pyramid doesn't exist anywhere in the prompt. I don't know what's going on there. Billiard balls that we have, that's supposed to be our seagull. That's just disturbing. There's another seagull-like thing over here. She's not wearing anything again. We have a repeat of the books. This is a mess, but I really like the lighting.
I think that is almost
is-
preview in a nutshell. This is a mess, but I really like the lighting.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
I feel about it.
This is a mess, but I really like the lighting again. This one combines the clock and the robot. Our seagull is repeated and on a totally tripping out. Oi. Yeah, high stylized really hurts prompt adherence across the board. Obviously. So
It
yeah.
looks really good on short, simple prompts though, with preview.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I sense that they're balancing it more and more toward the aesthetic outcomes and sort of sacrificing prompt adherence because they've realized over time that I'm in the minority. My love of prompt adherence is I mean, I'm in good company, but we're a small company. Most people just want to mess around.
I think it's still like pretty good though. Like, because this is like an extreme outlier kind of.
Yeah, it is.
Like, why would you ever want to really prompt like that thing? Like, I think if you want 4 things in 4 places, it's still going to do it most of the time. And like, that's enough to have 2 characters and like 2 main objects. And you can put a setting in and you'll still get it. So.
Yeah. Good thought. Oh, hey, Tom. Just noticed you. All right, you guys. Well, let me give you a chance to either type a question or type no questions. And if you have no questions and you type NQ, not MQ, which would be no questions. No questions. Go ahead and type NQ for me so that I can tell the difference between people who just like aren't here and multitasking and stuff, which is totally legit, and people who don't literally have no further questions. Okay. Okay, very good. All right, you guys. Well, this was Midjourney Studio for June 18th. I appreciate you all coming out. It was great to talk to you about the Midjourney Medical announcement and to do what we could to explore preview and draft given our technical difficulties. I will see you guys again soon. Let me see what is happening tomorrow. We have the Attitude Adjustment Hours. This is a new event hosted by our very own Kinky Kong. So catch you guys then.
It's the same event with a new name.
I'm trying to make it sound exciting.
Oh my god, it's so exciting. Bye.
Okay, bye. We are adjourned. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.